Look at that. Could have easily had a boat fire. So I am going to replace these with SmartPlugs.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth, and this is Steven. Together we are sailing through life on our sailboat Harmony with our dog Bernie. Join our adventures as we explore the East Coast and beyond by subscribing to our channel.
All right, guys. Good morning. I'm going to talk about something really serious this morning. Well, originally it was just going to be me replacing my shore power cords. Right. I purchased a product called SmartPlug, and they've had good reviews. I've heard really good things about them, and I've heard really bad things about the old systems. Fires. And case in point, I'm just going to show you what happened to my plug while I was running air conditioning last week. Let me show you right now. Could have been worse than what it is, believe me. So I just pulled the plug out. That's all melted plug. And the other side of this. So yeah, that's really bad. One of the scariest things that I've ever witnessed is a boat fire. When I was in the Coast Guard, I remember we went out for one, and they go fast. We got there, thing was smoldering, and then it just went, and then just fire to the waterline, and it was pretty wild. You don't want to get into a situation where you have a boat fire. So very, very serious right now. Look at this thing. Not even secured from the wires. Bad connection right there. That's a problem. Whew, boy, I'll take this baby right out. This wire was totally corroded. Really. And it just rotted away from the metal. So this is the inside of that plug. Look at that. I got lucky. I got totally lucky. I can't believe that the circuit, that the breaker didn't pop. So what we're going to be replacing with is these guys, SmartPlug. And you know why they're smart? I think they're smart just because they go in one way. They just plug in like a regular receptacle. Boom, you're done. You don't have to think or twist. They're sealed. So I had to remove screw here, here, and then up in here. So this thing will pop out now. This thing will come out. And I've got 10 gauge wire on there, I can see. Looks pretty old. But, so I'm gonna pop this out right now. Another really crappy electrical job. I'm assuming these are tied in right here, which is outside. You should never do that in a boat. You should break a straight run. So there should be one piece of wire with no breaks from my box. It's not even that far. Just right over here, over to where my plug is, which is like right here. That's crappy. That pisses me off. But anyway, so yeah, so I'm gonna go into this box, replace this wire while I'm at it, so that I don't have any breaks in the wire to my box, to my plug. So getting to the inside of the breaker involves taking off this panel. So this panel is my AC panel. Well, it's not my panel. It's a breaker in between my main panel, which is in my down below. This never popped. I gotta look at that. I'm not sure why. So that's where this wire goes to this panel, and it has that crappy tie-in that I showed you. So I'm going to look at this panel now. So I got my 10 AWG wire, which is 10 gauge boat wire, boat grade wire, marine grade wire. Marine Master 3-strand to 3 conductor. It's different than residential wire. Residential wire is a hard copper. Here it's stranded. It's fibrous stranded wire. You can't really see it very well. But and they do that because of the vibration in the boat, I believe. And I got my connectors. My little butt connectors with a heat shrink right here. So I think I'm good to go. Okay, I got these two on, and I did the heat shrink tubing, and every single time I burn my finger on that stupid thing. And I'm going to show you. That's the hot and the neutral that come in and go back out to connect, to create your loop and your connection. And then this right here is the ground. Now this is interesting because the residential wiring that I've done, you always ground it to like the box, to whatever your switch is, and then it goes back out to the ground, wherever it's going to go to the ground. In a boat we don't have a ground, so I'm hoping that my ground goes to the keel. But I'm just going to put a butt connector on these guys right now and show you how I do that. So I can't show you with one hand, but what I do is I take these stripping tools, and there's a wire stripping, the insulation stripping piece right here, and you just clamp that onto the wire. Hopefully I didn't get my finger, and you make sure you match the gauge with the wire, like I have 10 gauge wire, and then you just twist a little bit and then pop it off, and the insulation comes right off, and it leaves you some, where is it? There it is. Leaves you some bare wire. So I'm going to do it on the other one. See what I did is I crimped it onto the wire, and I did that with this tool right here. This, sometimes you can get the crimping tool and the wire stripping tool like all together. This one actually has that. This is an older one that I have, the insulation stripping and the crimping, but I like the other wire stripper better. So but I do the crimping with this guy right here, and see how it says 10 and 12. That's the gauge wire. So all I did is I just grabbed onto this guy with a 12 and just squeezed, and that made the connection for me. So I'll do it on the other side. Now you can see that both of them are crimped, and next I will do the heat shrink to finish my connection. Okay, so I've got my heat shrunk tubing, my connectors, and now you can see there's a black one here, a white one over here, and all I do is I connect the black to the black, and then the white to the white on this side. Now you can see that I have my black, which is coming, well, the opposite. This is my power coming in from my shore power into the black and going back out, and also on the white, here's my return, the white, the neutral. And then I have my ground. So I'm gonna put those back in the box, hopefully they fit, and secure this back here. And then I'm gonna work on the actual shore power inlet, which was the thing I wanted to work on at the beginning. So now I've got the box back together, which was just had to put some screws here and then a couple of screws here, and that's it. And then it'll fit back in here. But I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna leave it for now, and I'm gonna shift my attention to this side of the equation, which is actually the shore power. So the next part is going to be actually putting in the SmartPlug, which was my original intent. But anytime you work on a boat, well, not just a boat, anything mechanical, you're always going to run into problems, especially when it's old. This boat is 2001, so it's old. And you run into original equipment that hasn't been serviced. Well, not necessarily it hasn't been serviced, it hasn't needed to be serviced, you know. But when you start getting into things, you get into things. So that's the next part. So first I'm going to take this wire, which I ran back to my box over there, and I did that in a separate video, or maybe this video, I don't know, we'll see if they're together. And I'll strip this white back, this insulation, outer insulation, to give me the inside 3 wires, white, green, and black. And they have their own insulation. And unlike residential wire, they're not solid, they're stranded wire. That's what you use in a marine environment because of vibration. Solid copper wire can break. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, I stuck my gasket on here, and now I'm going to insert my little individual strands of wire into these individual places, and they're all labeled white, green, black, I think. Yeah. So it's really easy. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, there's the new plug. It's not installed yet. I still have to put the screws in. So the next part of the installation is to install a new pigtail, I guess they call it, to this, or plug to this. So I'm going to cut this off right here, and there'll be 3 conductors, and I will install them per the instructions of the SmartPlug, which so far are really easy to do. So I got the plugs in, the wires, black, green, and white. They're secured by these Allen screws on all 3 sides here. This went together pretty easily. I could have cut these wires shorter. I followed the directions, I thought, which says an inch and 3/4. So I don't know, but I would have cut them a little shorter because what you need to do is you need to get this outside insulation within here, and I had to really squish it up here to get to do that, but I think it's okay. Then I messed up. There's 2 different size screws, which I didn't realize. I used the wrong screw. I used these big screws here, which I only really need the smaller screws to go here. So I had to disassemble it because this screw wasn't long enough to make a good connection right here. The longer screws go here. So I'll show that in a second. Okay, moment of triumph. So this is the plug. Pops open. Only one way for it to go in. Clicks right in, snaps, secured. Very happy. I'm going to try it out right now. Here we go, the moment of truth. We have our 50 hooked in, 50 amp plug to a 25 amp splitter, which goes to the plug I just installed, the SmartPlug over there. As you can see, it's orange. So I'm going to flip the switch, the breaker on the shore power, and let's see if anything blows up. Haha, nothing switched. Nothing triggered it. We have power, according to these little lights here. Right there. So that one that I just flipped, right here, goes to my number 3 panel. And there's a breaker right here, which I have off, which I'm going to flip on. That sends electricity to the main panel. So I'm going to go down to the main panel right now. First I'm going to do this, shore power. I have power. Okay, so now I'm going to put a load on it. I'm going to put the pump on first, and I'll run the AC in the main cabin, which is easily blinking. That's good, we have power. Still, again, it's not a huge load. I'll put it on. All right, I have power. See if the pumps click in. I heard something, pumps kicking in. The air conditioner's kicking in, so it's pulling a load. So I installed these plugs about a month ago. Very happy with the SmartPlug. In my video, you saw that I installed this one right here. The procedure to install these was identical, except for I didn't have to go through the panel because it was fine. These were intact when I unplugged them. There was no short going on or any electrical issues. So they were really easy to install, especially since I'd done one already. I knew how to do the second two. They're a really good product. They pop in. I'm not going to plug them and show you because they're hooked up to power right now, but they're great. They just have this little clip here. They pop in. This clips down on top of it to secure it. There's a gasket inside that seals it. And you're not playing around. Anybody who has a boat who's played around with shore power, you're not playing around with popping it in and twisting it and having it fall out and sag. It's not safe. I don't like those. So that's why I bought this product. It's a really good product. I'm happy with it so far. I would recommend anybody that has a boat and has shore power to look at your shore power. Look at the connections. You don't know what you don't know, because you could have a serious problem like I almost had a fire on this boat. Guys, it's really important for you to check your shore power. It's a critical aspect of your boat. It provides your electrical for your system when you come on shore. And it's high voltage stuff. It's AC. And you can easily have a boat fire if you have a problem like I did. I was able to circumvent it and find out. I was lucky. But I've been in situations where people have had boat fires, and it's not good. So, yeah, so definitely check your boat plugs. It's really important. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe and share it with someone else that has plugs in their boat, because it could help them. Thank you.